Hello, everyone. I hope everyone's doing well. Hopefully, you all can hear me. I'm going to check my audio by checking the stream on my phone. Give me 1 second. Wow. Oh, my adapter. Here we go. I'm going to check the quality of the audio via my phone. As always, feel free to join the conversation by leaving a question or a comment about scholarships in the chat. Today, we're going to talk about scholarships as usual. I'm also going to give you all some updates on Dope for Degrees, what we've done this past week as a company, what's coming up next, and how we plan to help you all graduate debt-free. Check this audio real quick, and then we'll get started. So everything should be okay. I see it live on my phone, and it's going well. Okay, sounds good. The audio sounds good. So good afternoon, everyone. Today is September 22nd, 2019. My name is Danielle Jeffers. I'm the founder of Dope for Degrees and your host for today's community scholarship chat. I am going to leave a comment. Thank you, sister, for letting me know the audio is good. Feel free to leave a question or a comment about scholarships, anything you have in the chat box. I'll be more than happy to answer them. As you all know, this is a 30-minute conversation, so we end at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time each Sunday. And we'll rejoin for another live chat on next Sunday. Thank you, TMH, for letting me know the audio is good. To give you all some updates, I was able to drop one video this week. I had a lot of traveling and do a lot of speaking engagements. I was in Roanoke, Virginia. Hey, Free, I hope you're doing well. I was in Roanoke, Virginia not this past Friday, but the Friday before. And I traveled back to Woodbridge and was back in Roanoke. And so I spoke at the Virginia Statewide Neighborhood Conference. I mentioned that to you all from the last chat and had a session with the students talking about scholarships that went well. Have some videos I'm going to edit and share with you all. And then I traveled to William Fleming High School in Roanoke, Virginia, also on Wednesday. And I spoke there to their graduating seniors who are in AP classes. They're definitely college bound and ready to go to college, but they needed some guidance in regards to how college works. And that conversation was so pivotal in helping me frame how I need to communicate the information and make sure the students have the knowledge they need. Because a lot of those students were receptive to what I was saying, but it put me back in the mindset that I had when I was a senior in high school. I needed scholarships. It's like, I'm here, I'm all ears. And one thing that I said that really I've been thinking on heavily since I spoke to them on Wednesday was, think about the way college is communicated to you, specifically when you go on college tours. So when you go on a college tour, they're known to talk about the school, put the school in a good light. Hey, you don't want a piece. I hope you're doing well. They're known to put the school in a good light. They're known to promote the clubs and organizations available to you, share a lot of information about the experience. And what I've realized is that colleges and universities, higher education institutions, they prey on the fact that 18-year-olds are ready to get away from the comfort of their parents' houses or ready to get away from their parents and explore life. And so they promote the opportunity for you to be free and enjoy and party and whatever you want to do outside of the classroom. But the conversation about financial aid and how you pay for college is very small compared to the conversation about your college experience. But that's the biggest thing that will impact you beyond your college experience. And so that's what we said in a lot. And one key thing I kept mentioning to them was, if you're going to apply for scholarships, you will have to learn how to ignore your feelings. You have to learn how to stop saying, I don't feel like writing this essay, and then making the decision to not write the essay, or procrastinating and limiting your success. You're going to have to do things when you don't feel like it. It's going to be uncomfortable in the moment, but enjoying your discomfort and pushing past the obstacles and hurdles and like embracing the science of the process will help you succeed. Because I was able to endure that journey of winning more than $100,000 in scholarships in 5 months as a high school senior. I knew how to manage my time when I hit the ground running at Virginia Tech. I knew how to count my money because I had to count the scholarships I was applying for, realizing it was a numbers game. I knew how to budget. I knew how to prepare for the semester coming ahead. I knew what it took to juggle. I know what it takes to juggle academics, extracurricular activities, your passions, your dreams, some downtime on top of trying to find the money to go to college. And so I said the things that are mentioned the least on college tours and opportunities where you're exposed to what college can be for you or what it can do for you are the things you need to focus on the most. Yes, every college has clubs and organizations. Yes, some clubs and organizations are better at other colleges than some of them. As a sports enthusiast, as someone who loves sports, the fact that I went to a D1 school that had a 65,000 person football stadium that I could go to football games in the fall was something that I enjoyed and something that was a check mark on my box in terms of my college experience. But think about how your decision to go to that school and the cost of that school and your lack of or the amount of financial aid you do have will impact you beyond college. So I saw a question come through. My sister said, what motivated you when you didn't feel like working on scholarships? Once again, she said, what motivated you when you didn't feel like working on scholarships? I'm going to answer your question, but I mentioned it too because after I spoke at William Fleming on Wednesday, I traveled to Virginia Tech to hear my friend Nick Sturtevant, who was a professor at Virginia Tech now, speak to his class. He teaches entrepreneurship at Innovate, the Living Learning Community at Virginia Tech. And so he talked to them and he allowed me to speak for about 5 minutes. And one of the students asked me what motivated me to keep pushing so hard when I was in school. And I said, what motivated me, same thing to answer your question, sister, is freedom. The fact that I could have financial freedom, I could graduate debt free, I could be myself. I didn't have to conform to what society had to offer me. I've never really been interested in working for someone else. I've always enjoyed freedom. And the fact that I refused to live my life with regrets. I made a commitment at a young age. I think I was like 11 years old when I tapped into my gift for public speaking. And I said, I refuse to live my life with regrets. I'm not going to put my dreams and my passions and my endeavors on hold to appease anyone or to please anyone or make them happy. I'm going to do what I feel like is right in that moment and just chase my dreams. And so I said, if I don't use the time I have, then I will have wasted this time and I'll never be able to seize this moment again. Because time is one thing that everyone needs. We all need time to do anything. It's one of the biggest things that we can't control, but it impacts our lives so drastically. And one thing that many students, especially high school seniors, don't realize right now is that you're competing against the clock and you can't beat the clock. Like you are at this point in your life, and let's say you're going to college next fall. And let's say hypothetically your payment is due August 15, 2020 for your first semester in college. It is September 22nd, 2019. From September 22nd of this year until August 15th of next year, you have time to figure out how you're going to pay for college. But you have a small window of time. You have less than a year. But if you focus right now and you apply for scholarships and you tackle the resources, then when you get to college, you won't be stressed about the money, or you won't have to worry about how you're going to pay for it because it's already paid for. But let's say you don't do anything in this window of time that you have, and you will spend the next 4 years of your life either repeating your pattern because it now has become a habit, or you will break the cycle and decide to do stuff in college and sacrifice your college experience to pay for school. And if you choose not to do that, then you'll be living with debt until you pay it off. And so I encourage people to just look at the situation you have and look at your present circumstances and say, I'm not going to have regret. I refuse to live my life with regrets and just take advantage of every moment you have. Because being active and proactive right now can open so many doors for you in the near future. So that's what motivated me. I would say for students who no one's speaking to them in this way, or no one's talking to them about the importance of preparing for the opportunity, because one of my quotes is, by failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. By failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. One reason why I spend a lot of time just doing these YouTube videos, or I spend a lot of time editing, is because I'm preparing for the influx. I'm preparing for the large numbers of people that are going to come watch these videos. And so all of this right now is practice. Because once the lights are on and I'm on a bigger stage, you don't have time to practice. You better be ready. Because if you're not ready, then you're going to fail. And so getting in the habit of talking to people every Sunday, talking to people every week through YouTube and other means and other mediums, I'm creating the habit to want to do it. And so I encourage you to just work through the habits, work through the process of building that habit of applying for scholarships. It doesn't feel good. It's not pleasant in the beginning because you may not be winning, but you're learning in between. And if you just build the muscle you need to keep going, you'll be good. So that's my suggestion on that. And if you're not in an environment that's pushing you to do that, if you're in an environment that can be distracting, you have to find ways to zone out of that and zone into your task at hand, or place yourself in different environments. And that can be difficult. But I will say that I had to do that by going to the Boys and Girls Club sometime and staying late and working on my applications, or getting up early in the morning while everyone was sleeping and making sure my door was closed and I was knocking out the things I needed to do, or staying after school longer, things like that. But your success is so important, because at the end of the day, the only person you can hold accountable is yourself, because you're in control of your life. That's my suggestion there. Let's see, what else can I talk about while I wait for another question or comment to come in? I would say I'll drop the video for the high school seniors, Habits of Scholarship Winners, the September edition. That video, I talked about 3 things you should do in September 2019 to prepare to earn scholarships. And the Habits of Scholarship Winners, these are things students do every month, every week, or every day to be successful. And so there are 3 things I mentioned in that video. Make sure you go watch that video. It's on the YouTube channel. The college edition is coming this week, and you still have time because it's still September. We have 8 days left in the month. Free set, can a person's social media content affect their eligibility for scholarships? Yes, it can. Yes, it can. Social media is a powerful tool and a dangerous weapon. It's a powerful tool and it's a dangerous weapon. It can help you accomplish some of your biggest goals. I've seen some close friends of mine blow up on social media for pictures they posted, and they received modeling opportunities and things like that. But I've also seen social media destroy other people's opportunities because they posted reckless content, like them drinking, them smoking, cursing, all of those things on those platforms. And so what I want you to think about as a scholarship applicant, you're making a lot of first impressions. You are applying for these scholarships. And so a lot of people are coming across your name and the work you've done, your aspirations, and what you hope to do. And as you do that, you want to make the best first impression possible, because once you make that first impression, you can't take it back. You can't ask for a second one. It's the first impression. And so clean up your social media. And what I mean when I say clean up your social media, remove any profanity from your social media, remove any triggering topics. And I know some people will combat this and say, well, I have freedom of speech, whatever, what have you. Okay, you do. But from my experience, remove racist comments or political comments. I understand students do political work. That's up to you. Things that can be divisive, try to come across in a reasonable way that you communicate the message, because people are going to look you up before they ever contact you. Like, I come across so many people, whether it's leads or someone's asking to partner with Doe for degrees, and I'm going to do my research because my research is free. I go to Facebook, I go to Twitter, I go to Instagram, I go to YouTube, I go to Snapchat sometimes and look you up. Even though I'm not active on those platforms, I still have an account. And so I can go study what you're doing and see how you present yourself to the world, and decide whether or not I want to engage with you based on that. And that's what a lot of scholarship providers do, because at the end of the day, you're representing their organization. They had invested in you. They gave money to you to help you be academically successful, to be able to succeed and go through college. And so they want to see a return on their investment. And it's the same way in business. If I'm going to invest into your business, I want to see what you've already done or what you've already produced to give me a example or give me some insight into what you're capable of. And so if I see that you've already presented yourself to the world in a negative manner by posting half-naked photos on social media or using bad language or what have you, then why would I invest in you? Because obviously you don't care what people think of you, or you're not as focused on how people perceive you. And so I'm not asking you to fit yourself into this box, but I'm asking you to be professional on social media, because this is a professional opportunity. People are giving you thousands of dollars to go to college. So that's very important. I will also say, this is my frame of mind whenever I use social media. if my grandma saw me doing it, how would she react? My grandmother's strict. She's like, no drugs, no alcohol, none of that wild and crazy stuff. Church woman. If my grandmother saw my social media page, how would she react? Because at the end of the day, I'm representing her as well. I'm representing my family everywhere I go. And so if my grandma would be a little unsettled about something I posted, I'd be hesitant to post it, hesitant to reshare it. And the beautiful thing about social media is you can screenshot a lot of things. You can screenshot things that make you laugh and save them, and save articles and bookmark things without you having to tell the people that you enjoyed it. And just tell your friends in private, because people's perception of you can impact a lot of things you do. And so be wise in your decisions. If you ever have a question about should you post this on social media, or Danielle, will you check out my social profile and let me know what you think? If I have the time to do so, I will. I'll drop that link in to my website where you can contact me and I can give you some advice. That may be a good video to demonstrate why my social media is presented the way it is, and why I'm not on social media. Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter specifically. TMH asked, TMH said, so you are saying your affiliations can either have a positive impact or a negative impact of the type of scholarship and business relationships? Yes, it can. Yes, it can, because people are very judgmental. Social media allows you to be judgmental and look at people the way you want to look at them, and put them in a box, because you're making a first impression once again. Free said, big facts. First impressions are very important. Thank you, Free. Thank you for your comment and the question. It can affect your relationships. It can affect your opportunity to get in certain doors, because if I've already made an assessment of you based on what you told me of you, why do I need to take the time to hear you explain it or make me think a different way? You already showed me who you are. Why do I need to hear you repeat it or try to tell me something differently? And so just be very conscious when you're making when you're sharing certain messages on social media, or you're presenting yourself in a certain light. Everything that you see and everything you enjoy doesn't need to be shared with everyone else. Some things are better kept private. And the beautiful thing about social media, and it is a beautiful thing, it's a virtual reality world. Most people only show the highlights of their lives on social media. They don't show the bad things. They don't show the negative things. And so if you're looking at someone's highlight reel, you have a perception of them that's probably very different from the actual truth. And so they can tell you what they want you to know. They can show you what they want you to think about them. But at the end of the day, the truth's going to come out whether you like it or not. So just be very cautious when you're making first impressions. One thing that I stick with on social media is I stick to my roots. And I say this, some of my friends who've blown up on social media, like, well, how should I present myself now that I have a large following? It doesn't matter what your following is. Stick to your roots. I say it all the time. It's on my website. The Bible is so important to me. My faith is extremely important to me. I'm not trying to beat anyone over the head with the Bible or trying to make people believe a certain thing. But I also know it is my source. That's where I make a lot of decisions. That's how I come to a lot of conclusions. And so if I'm explaining something and it fits with what I'm saying, it is what it is. I'm not asking everyone to believe what I believe, but I'm also not going to be afraid of what I believe or scared to share that because it may offend someone. If it offends you, I apologize. I would love to have a conversation as to why. But that's at least another thing. Don't be so sensitive on social media. Everything someone says is not about you. So just be very cautious about what you say and do. Thomas said, thank you for the info. It is always appreciated. I'm glad if I help. My pleasure. That's what I'm here for. So parents, let me share something with you. This is a difficult conversation, but it's one that needs to be had. One thing I find to be troublesome as these students prepare to make one of the biggest decisions they'll make in their life, because they're usually preparing to make a 5 to 6 figure decision in terms of where they'll go to college, what they'll study, and how they'll plan to live out the next 4 to 8 years of their lives. I understand. I'm not a parent, so once again, this is coming from the perspective of someone who's graduated, the child of 2 adults who raised me. Like, this is coming from that type of perspective, and also someone who works with parents and students very closely every single day. It is you trying to control your child and make them do something that you would like for them to do, is one of the worst things you can do. Because if you try to do your best to make your child fit into your dream, you will break their spirit and they won't be as motivated to do what they want to do. And I can speak from my own personal experience. My parents always talked about me becoming a doctor, because I was very intelligent in school. I always had like a 4.0 or higher or very close to it. And they said, you should become a doctor because most doctors are smart. And I said, I can't become a doctor. I don't even enjoy that type of stuff. I have a very weak stomach and I'm squeamish when it comes to like guts and blood. That's not me. I know I'm not supposed to be a doctor because I just can't handle it. I cannot take it. And so I said, yeah, that's not what I'm supposed to do. But I had already tapped into something that I was naturally good at, which is speaking and communicating. I said, I think I want to do that. And so when I remember telling my father, I said, I want to study communications in college. And I was in like my junior year of high school. And he said, well, how are you going to get paid for that? How much money are you going to make? And this is something that students need to be very aware of, is what motivates you. I've never been motivated by money. Money doesn't motivate me. Money will come and go. I will have expenses and I will have income. I will have more money sometimes and I will have less money. Money doesn't motivate me. What motivates me is fulfilling my purpose. And so parents, your vision and your dream for your child can be great. But remember, your child was already created with certain gifts and talents naturally embedded within them. And if they tap into those, they'll be bigger and greater in life than you could ever imagine. And if it's not conventional, then 9 times out of 10 they're probably on the right path. And my parents could never see me doing what I'm doing today. They would never think that I could travel and speak about an experience I had over the course of 4 or 5 years of my life and how it changed my life, and use that information and knowledge to help change other people's lives. They would never have thought that I would be building a business starting at the age of 18 up until 22, and it's very profitable and it's doing well. They would have never imagined it. But what they couldn't see was what was already waiting for me. I just had to continue on the path that I'm going. And so students, I say tap into who you are and tap into what you're really good at. Spend some time with yourself. Get to know what you like and what you don't like, and use that information to your benefit. To parents, I say, give your students the room to grow. Give your students the room to grow into who they're supposed to be and the things they're naturally good at. It doesn't have to make sense to you. It doesn't have to make sense. Everything doesn't have to be perfectly cut and fit into a perfect picture. And what a lot of parents are fearful of is not being able to compare their children to their friends or their associates' children. They're trying to keep up with the Joneses. Don't do that. Just let your child be themselves. And what they are good at, there's already space and room created for them. And as they continue to tap into that, it'll create more room for them. And so just be cautious when you're trying to be controlling. And don't worry so much about what the status quo of society has to say about such and such and such. Because at the end of the day, this world is changing. Like a lot of people in my generation, some people call us irresponsible and all those things. But the way we do business, the way we just live our lives, higher education, I don't know how much longer it's going to be around. Because a lot of the people I mentor, a lot of people I talk to, they're not going to college because college doesn't have any guarantees. You go to a higher education institution, you're not guaranteed to get a job. You're not guaranteed to make X amount of dollars. I studied at a university. My education cost me $120,000. I had friends who were studying engineering, paying the same sticker price. My starting salary after I graduated high school, had I taken a job in journalism, was $30,000. It was $30,000, whereas their starting salary was nearly $100,000. The experience cost the same, but the benefits weren't. Kids are like, I'm not going into debt. I will figure it out and stay at my parents' house a little bit longer and keep working on it. So parents, once again, please give your child the room to grow. If they're like, Mom, this is what I really want to do. This is what I enjoy. This is what I'm passionate about. That's where their energy naturally flows. Let them tap into it. Let them grow, learn, and fail. Because when you fail, that's sometimes when you get the biggest lessons. And so once again, I encourage you to just figure out how you can naturally be yourself and be naturally good at what you're gifted to do or you're talented at, and use that. Figure out how you can get paid to do it. Plain and simple. Use the link I dropped if you have any questions or comments about that. If you want to have a conversation, a parent or a family. Once again, I'm not telling you what to do, but I'm just making a strong suggestion based on what I've experienced and what I've seen other people go through, especially some of my clients who are battling with parents who are sometimes paying for their education. And so those conversations are very tough when a parent is paying for a student's education and they don't want to do what their parent tells them to do. But the beautiful thing about scholarships, especially outside scholarships, is you can get the money and pay for it yourself or use someone else's money to pay for the experience and not have to do what your parent says to do if they put that stipulation on you because they're paying for your education. So feel free to drop a comment, question, or anything about that or scholarships in general in the chat. We have 6 minutes left before we end today's community scholarship chat. But I have enjoyed having a conversation with you all today, as always, just getting to talk with you all and share knowledge, share wealth, just hear from your experience, answering any questions you have in regards to what's coming up next for Dope for Degrees. Dope for Degrees are working on some big products and opportunities, especially in partnership with the In My Bag tour, which is what we did in August, where we gave away more than 500 book bags filled with school supplies and 200 teacher appreciation gifts between my hometown of Danville, Virginia, and my co-founder's hometown of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And if you haven't watched any of that content, I have a playlist on Dope for Degrees YouTube channel with all of that information as well. A special shout out to Auchtoctones Assembly, A2, a nonprofit organization dedicated to raising up American Indigenous voices so they know who they are and they can make an impact on their communities, for sponsoring Dope for Degrees and allowing us to partner with you all. We're on Ain't TV, that's Auchtoctones Assembly, or American Indian Network TV. I'm going to drop that link as well. So if you ever want to watch Dope for Degrees or watch Ain't TV, you can do that too. What else I have to add? I will be speaking in I'll be speaking in partnership with Jack and Jill of America Incorporated, specifically the Manassas and Woodbridge chapter in October. They're doing a big event. And so I will share some more information. I'll probably do a video to promote that ASAP because we have to get the word out to the local community. And tickets are $10 per person. And so more information will be coming in regards to that in the coming weeks. Let's see. Thomas said, which one of your videos should a student start with if they want more info? Great question, Thomas. If you are trying to understand the language behind college, because a lot of students who don't have access to the resources they need to prepare for college, they don't understand the language behind college. Like, what is an EFC, an estimated family contribution? What is a FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid? What is an SAR, the student aid report, which is a summary of the information you provide in your FAFSA? Then I encourage you to watch the series I did on Dope for Degrees YouTube channel called Quick Steps to Graduate Debt Free. I'm going to paste that link in the chat. And if you go to my website and you click the scholarships tab, I've also included some links to help you find some scholarships and things you can begin working on now. Don't forget that you can apply for scholarships as early as middle school. And you can take the time and apply for the resources you need and begin to succeed and fail in that journey. And so definitely check out that link I posted because it will help give you the baby steps. This is 3 video series that you need to succeed. You need to begin to prepare to earn scholarships. I've had people who've used those videos and they say, hey, now I'm ready to go. They don't have everything they need to succeed, but they have more information than they had before that can help them make better decisions. So it's just like in business. What I realized quickly once I started my business was I didn't know much about business, but I definitely didn't know the language of business. And I had to understand the language to be able to communicate people who were in that field. Same thing with college. Yeah, you may go to an American institution where everyone speaks English, Everyone speaks English, but you walk in the financial aid office and they start talking to you about an unsubsidized and a subsidized loan or your budget and all those things, your student budget, your account summary. You may not know what those terms mean, but that's the thing that's keeping you at school, your ability or inability to pay for your education. And so understand that language, and more content will be coming soon in regards to that on Dope for Degrees YouTube channel. I will also say if you have any suggestions in terms of videos you would like me to shoot, questions you have, feel free to drop them in the chat or leave a comment on my videos. Also contact me, that link is in the chat as well. And I will do my best to put that on my schedule to get that information to you all. Once again, thank you for watching. Thank you for your time and attention. We have 1 more minute to go. I'm open to any questions you all have. While I'm waiting for a question and comment to come in, I will say that one of the best things you can do as a college student is focus on the opportunity to obtain as much knowledge as possible. I always say to students, don't go to college to get an education and refuse to be educated on its financial impact. Once again, don't go to college to get an education and refuse to be educated on its financial impact. You can go to college and do well and get straight A's and all of those things. It doesn't matter what your GPA is. If you didn't manage your money right or didn't find the money you needed to pay for your education without you having to take out debt, that will have the biggest impact on you. Because very rarely do employers ask what your GPA was in college. If you have the degree, that's enough proof for a lot of people. Even for me, I have my degree, it's over there, and the tube it came in. I'm my employer, quote unquote. I'm the person I go to make sure I have money to pay my bills. I don't ask myself what my GPA is. I know what my GPA was. But I tell myself I'm proud of myself for figuring out how to pay for it without having to take a dime out of my pocket or take a student loan out. So my suggestion is, once again, don't go to college to get an education and refuse to be educated on its financial impact. And we're giving free knowledge every week through Dope for Degrees YouTube channel to make sure you all have the information you need to succeed. As always, please share the channel with someone you know, someone you love, and ask them to watch a video or two, get a better understanding of what they need to go to college and graduate debt-free. I'm glad I got to talk with you all. I look forward to talking with you again next time. Have a great Sunday and have a great week.